I'm FabuRocks, but my family calls me Fabu. I've been creating videos and live streaming since I was 7 years old, as a form of therapy that my parents, FabuMom and FabuDad, have created for me to overcome my speech delay, learning disability, and ADHD. Now that I'm older and overcome many challenges, my goal and plan is to empower others like me. That is why I am founder and leader of the Fabu Army, a clan that supports and empowers young content creators like myself. I'm the youngest Facebook gaming partner and youngest former Mixer partner. Welcome to the FabuRocks Podcast. I am your host, and with me today is FabuMom.
Hi.
And FabuDad.
Hello, everybody.
Before we get started, I would like to give a massive shout out to our sponsors of this podcast, Turtle Beach, Rock and G Fuel. You guys are awesome. This is Season 1, YouTube Therapy, Episode 14, Gaming on Multiple Platforms. At the end of the episode, we will be answering some questions that the Fabu fam and the Fabu Army have asked via Discord. If you have any questions, you could ask us on Discord. So, let's get started. How did I react when I was introduced to VR?
So you absolutely 100% loved VR games. You wanted to play VR games all the time. Like at that point, you didn't want to play any more tablet games or get on
Roblox?
the PC.
What?
No.
What is that?
You were all about the VR games, and we took advantage. We filmed a lot of gameplay with you playing VR games.
Yes, Fabu was very excited about VR. VR at the moment, it was the new thing. The new thing in gaming. I was very excited, I have to admit. I was super excited about VR. It was the biggest thing that it has happened in gaming. At that point, VR was new. Not only to say that it cost an arm and a leg, but I was very excited. At that moment, like right now, people take for granted how affordable VR is. Affordable, like the Oculus Quest 2 now, it costs like $350. Even though that there's other brands that has a higher end VR that it still costs $1,000 and $1,500. But that's how much it cost when it came out. Thousands of dollars actually.
Wow,
Oculus
really?
itself, yeah, the Oculus Rift, it was $750 just the goggle, and then another like $300 and something dollars. The controllers and everything was, you know.
I'm not gonna lie, the Rift wasn't good even. Like, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty expensive, but we were, I was excited. Fabu was excited. The whole idea of playing, a game that you could see in 3D, you submerge yourself within that game. It was mind blowing, and I was hooked. Somehow the idea, it hooked Fabu. So we bought it. We went and bought it, and Fabu was really into it. She loved it. She loved the idea. She wanted to play. She wanted to try. FabuMom too. She didn't know, how it was gonna be or anything. She was really into it. So all of us were excited about it. But Fabu was excited, especially after she did the unboxing and everything. That she did the unboxing of the Oculus. All those links of those videos are here in YouTube. So go and check them out. But we were all excited, especially Fabu. Yeah, Fabu was great.
I gotta wonder, but like we have this kind of like the cycle, like in each episode that we go into this game and then I lose interest. And you just said you like kind of spend $1,000 on a VR. How are you going to keep me engaged on VR, on gaming?
Well, I'm going to tell you a secret.
What's the strategy?
I'm going to tell you the secret.
The secret sauce.
One of the secret is that I wanted it. I was really hooked in the idea to play in VR and the new thing of gaming. So to me, that in itself, it was worth it. I was hooked. But wow. in your perspective, it was something that I guess I was so excited that I passed that excitement into you, and you ended up being very excited. FabuMom somehow got excited too. I think that it was like
I lost my excitement after the fact.
After the budget. Budget.
I was super excited and I was all on board until I actually tried it. And see, the thing is that I get really dizzy for anything. Like anything makes me dizzy. So the majority of the VR games made me very dizzy. So it was like,
I think the most dizziest game was Minecraft. I think that one made me dizzy, to be
that
honest.
one was.
Well,
all of
another
them
thing too,
made me very
that with the Oculus, we find out that in the Oculus you could play Minecraft. So we were like, okay, it's gonna be,
and Roblox.
and then Roblox. I was
Yeah,
gonna
I was
say,
about
and
to
then
say,
Roblox, it was
Roblox.
gonna be in VR. So I'm like, this is gonna be freaking fantastic. It's opening the door to a whole new world for Fabu. I think that this is it. But even though that I was saying all that, I have to be completely honest. I was the kid there. I was excited. I was hooked, and somehow, I thought that, hey, maybe this is the new thing. We always trying new things and trying to expose Fabu to different things. And VR, it was one of those things. Hoping that Fabu will get really interested enough for her to continue playing. But at the same time, I was hooked.
Yeah.
I would recommend having a VR to everyone, because if you right now go to watch someone playing VR, it's not that awesome, because you have to be there. You have to be wearing the VR to actually experience it. Because a lot of times, like when you're watching someone like using a VR, it just looks like a normal game.
Yeah, it doesn't give justice.
It doesn't grasp.
Yes.
The whole
The experience. Yeah. So I personally, I recommend anyone to buy a Quest 2, not the Rift. The Rift sucks. Especially now it's more affordable. So just telling y'all.
And lighter and better.
And way better.
But let me tell you, into today, I believe when you play VR, it's hard to just go play a PC game or a console game with a different point of view. I mean, playing VR games, if you had a good VR game and a really good gaming computer, I mean, you put that VR and you are flying a ship and man, the experience, you cannot even record it, neither stream it, because it's near impossible to, like Fabu said, for people to appreciate that excitement, that that thrill, that experience. You have to experience yourself. I mean, it's amazing. It's freaking fantastic. It's awesome. So yeah,
and for that reason, I believe that her therapeutic progress was so successful during those VR games, because she was able to actually look around and use a wider vocabulary. She was able to use
so that's how we made VR a therapeutic tool for moi.
Exactly. It was so easy for you to turn around and say, describe where you were, what you were doing,
what I was feeling, like
all of it.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was fantastic.
It was you somehow really interacting with the game and really doing, what you wanted to do, especially with the game you say that it was your favorite, which was Giant Cop. And you were able to, to get, the residents of the city that you were actually being a police officer and pick them up and talk to them and tell me, hey, what do you want? What are the cases that I have to break? Like, what are the instructions? And you put them down. Then you go here to this other building and get this.
To be honest, Giant Cop wasn't my favorite game. My favorite game, I forgot the name, but it was this wizard game. It was so good. Like, I don't.
The wizard game. Yes, that was amazing.
Like, you would have like powers, and then you would fight with other people. It was awesome.
Oh my god, I forgot the name of the game.
Yeah,
Magic
same.
something.
It was Magic. I forgot it, but it was so good. I loved it so much.
There was actually, you probably don't remember this, Fabu. There was a competition of that game, a VR competition of the game.
Yes.
And Fabu was really good in the game, because that game, it was awesome, because you needed to actually set a spells with your hands. And with the hands, the movement of your hands, you would set different spells to put a shield, to throw things. And you needed to do the movement of the hand. Every spell and things like that, it was different movement. And Fabu got it.
I was a master.
We wanted to put Fabu into a competition, and something that we always has been struggling with Fabu when it comes to gaming and competition, that you cannot compete in any gaming whatsoever. You're not over 13.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was one of our reality check. One of many reality check that we had with Fabu.
Did I win?
Fabu, you couldn't participate.
Did you not?
I would have won. I would have won.
So because in order for you to do any competition whatsoever in anything, you need to be 13 and over, and that was one of the first time reality check for us that Fabu could not participate in any competition and anything whatsoever because she was under 13. Not even take it serious. So, but yeah, Fabu was really good in the game. The game was amazing. I mean, the graphics, everything in the game, it was amazing.
Like, that was the one game, like, that I miss of VR. That's the one game that I wish I could come back to because it was so good. Like, I loved it so much. You could pick wizards and their powers. I think I picked I don't know which one I picked, but it was super cool.
By the way, those videos, it's in YouTube.
Really?
I don't remember now, but it's here. It's here in YouTube. Those videos of Fabu playing VR. Actually, we're gonna be talking about this in next season, but we had season 2.
We have so many teasers.
One of the things that we used to do when we started doing live streaming, and we started doing the live streaming and YouTube, and then we went to Twitch and then to Mixer. We did here in YouTube when we started live streaming, like I was saying, it was VR Saturday. VR Saturday, Fabu will play any VR games as she liked it, and then under VR Saturday, that video should be there. So go and look at it and look it out. I mean, it was amazing. It was amazing.
And guys, I have to ask, because of what we said about the sweating and how it was heavy, what were your concerns of VR?
Well, our major concern was we didn't know what the long-term effects would be on your vision. So most importantly, that was my big worry. And then seeing how, every time we would play VR, you would have the headset on for like a little bit, and then you would be sweating, even though we had bought like these special like pillow pads for the headset.
I remember you guys were like, "Oh, we got this, guys."
Yeah, so but you were constantly taking it off, like drying yourself with the towel.
I remember that.
And you had like this little head with that big gigantic unit, and so at some point it was like,
Yeah, that was my concern too. I was happy because I was enjoying the VR. You were enjoying the VR. Not so happy that FabuMom could enjoy the VR.
She could.
But I was nervous. I'm like, Fabu cannot be using this for too long. Not only because, from the very first moment that we were trying to purchase, the people there were saying, "Hey man, we don't recommend this for kids." But even Fabu herself was, after, I would say, I don't know, 45 minutes or so, Fabu would start saying, "Oh, this is too heavy for me. This is not good." She wanted to continue, but she understood that it was too heavy for her already. And she's like, "Stop." And we always into today. We always, hear Fabu and say, "Okay, let's stop." So we noticed that the VR, it was fun, it was great, it was awesome, but it was something not sustainable. For
not long
us,
term.
Yeah, for us not to continue in that route. But yeah, we had concerns. So regardless, we were not planning to have VR part of our life on a daily basis, like any other game or anything, neither very frequently. So
yeah, at that point, we were just doing it once a week, and we got the most out of it. We were able to expose her to different genres, like scary games, some shooters, and our intention was also to expose her to a wide variety of genres
and shooters,
platforms.
Which we did. She started doing some scary games in VR.
When did I start playing scary games?
Wow, you started playing scary games on VR.
Let me tell you,
wow,
there
really?
were some there were some scary games in VR that I couldn't do. Well, first of all, I have to tell everybody, it's not a secret. I don't even like scary movies. That's not my thing.
FabuDad is a little baby when it comes to scary games. Like, I watched Annabelle, and I'm proud of it because I feel like FabuDad couldn't do it, and I was like 6 when I watched Annabelle. I wanted to watch Annabelle. Like, Annabelle was so scary, and I was like, yes, I really want to watch it. It's so my level. All these other scary movies isn't scary. Let's watch it. And Fadad's like, oh no, that's too scary for me. Too scary.
Let me tell you, when the VR came out, somehow they were advertising scary games because VR, it was so submerged in any game that they said that a scary game, it has taken to another level with VR, because scary game has been around for ages already at that point, and people playing on PC normally we're playing scary games with no issue, but when you put a scary game in VR, it's
on another level.
It's in another level. So people were advertising at the moment the most scary game ever that it was actually have done on PC. It was already on VR, and people were going bananas about this game so much that I was like, I don't like scary games or anything, but I need to try this thing.
Me or you?
You know? And so we got a couple of scary games, and I couldn't. One of the games, it was that you were in this container ship, and it was, I don't know, it was a creature, a monster, whatever the heck it was, that start hunting you inside, and you need to save your friends inside. But because you have these goggles and the audio, you're submerged, you will hear everything and you will see everything, and you need to move. And it was an agony for me. It was an agony because it was really a nervous breakdown for me, and I have to stop. Now, during all this, I guess Fabu was around, but Fabu was watching. Like, when we do VR, you could have a VR, so what I do is I put the monitor, and whoever is with me, in order to record whatever it is, you will see it on the monitor. But obviously, it's not the same what you see in the monitor that what's going on in reality within the VR headset. Like, within the Oculus, it's totally different. Like, you need to be submerged in order for you to feel that. So Fabu, I guess, was watching it, and Fabu was like, well, this is nothing. I haven't seen anything. I haven't,
no big deal.
Because she was just looking at the monitor. She hasn't heard anything. So she's like, I do it. I'm going to do this. And so I'm like, oh, yeah, you're thinking this is like that, but whatever. No, you do it. So I give the Oculus to Fabu. For her to do it, because I'm like, probably you're watching the monitor, but obviously in the monitor nothing happened. But if you have the goggle, a lot of things happening. You're hearing what's going on. The thing is going on. Your friend is screaming, but you cannot see that in the monitor, right? So I give it to Fabu, and she did it. She did everything, and she's, even
I saved my friends.
She saved the friends. She did everything. I'm like, oh man, I cannot believe this.
Show off. What a show off.
Like, my little girl is doing this thing. I couldn't.
She did better than me.
She did much better than me. I couldn't do this. I cannot believe this. But she it's not that she did not get scared. She did, but she was able to control that. She was able to control that somehow crazy emotion, and that when, pee pee caca or and cry, maybe like me, like a little girl. She was able to, to do her task and do all that. And to me, that was like, wow.
Yeah, I was very impressed.
That was cool. That was awesome. So I'm like, okay. So I saw that as a challenge somehow. I'm like,
and she loves it.
So there's another scary game, right? And then we put that scary game and she did it.
Did you put
like
the most scariest?
Yes, that was the most scary, actually. And she did it. And then even her brother had a Samsung goggle 3D that it came with the mobile device, remember?
Yes.
And then there was a scary game that he had that it was really bad. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to dare Fabu to do that. She's not going to be able to do it. And then he brought it over because people was like intrigued with, Fabu doing, scary games and things like that.
So he brought friends over?
He brought it over and she did it like nothing. Yeah, she got scared here and there. Actually, we have that video too here on YouTube. But she did it like nothing. She did it. I'm like, oh my god, this is something else.
And then wanted to keep doing it.
And then she wanted to keep doing it. I thought that she was gonna be a scare away in the sense that like, hey, yeah, I did this, but I'm not gonna do this crap anymore. Like, hey, it didn't pick my interest. I don't know what it was, the adrenaline. I don't know what it was. But she wanted to do it again. She wanted to do another one, and she wanted to do it. So anything that be scary. Maybe she like felt like, oh man, I'm better than my dad. I'm better than my brother. I'm doing this. Like I cannot believe this. And I guess she felt some level of accomplishment and like, oh my god, it's so tough. I'm not this little girl. I don't know what it was. But she continued to do it. So it went from VR to later on into today. Scary games is the favorite genre for Fabu. She has done crazy scary games that we have said in before.
Like actually, Outlast.
We have Outlast. That was scary.
We've been very proud of that one.
We had Horror Friday, and Fabu would always do a scary game on every Friday. And people from the very beginning would start doing live streaming and Twitch and everything. See, a 9-year-old girl, doing Outlast 2 without blinking an eye when they were taking a shit. Couldn't even finish the game. And there it is, a 9-year-old girl freaking playing Outlast like nothing without blinking. Yeah, she would go like, but then she would come back in it, I don't say that Fabu does not get scared or she laugh about it like, oh, that was nothing. She does get scared. Even playing Little Nightmare, she does get scared. But she pick up her pieces and then just come back and just do it. She just do it. She go for it. It doesn't matter what. And she's been doing it since VR. So, imagine when you start when you start in a game, in a genre of a scary game, and you start in VR, to me, that was the max. There's nothing
like I didn't even go to the first level. I
and
went to
higher
10 level.
Than playing a scary game at VR. There's nothing. It doesn't matter what scary games you do in PC. There's nothing is scarier
than VR. Yeah.
Than a scary game in VR. Nothing. Well, real life. I would believe real life. But that's how Fabu started. I think that's
That was her first taste.
That was her first day of a scary game in VR, and what is there to top? Nothing. So that's why she plays scary game like like nothing. She does get scared.
Like jump scares, yeah.
But she finished it. It's not that she loses interest. Like to me, it's like, oh my god, I cannot do this. I'd rather not do it. I forget it. I'm not gonna deal with this shit. I'm not, and I don't do it. Or if I would don't, she just do it. How many people have started like Outlast and it becomes so scary they just can't. They just don't do it. They give up. If I would do it for her, that's nothing.
That's something, yeah. That's easy mode. Hey,
well, not there either, but yeah, she do it.
We've been talking a lot about scary games, but why did we start playing Overwatch right after playing scary games?
We had introduced her to shooter games while she was playing VR. So when you stopped playing VR games, you jumped on PC. And at that time, Overwatch was one of these new games that had just come out. And we saw it and we thought that it would be a game that you would be interested in, given the fact that you had kind of showed some interest in shooter games previously. So we introduced you to Overwatch, and it was a hit. Yeah. It was a hit.
Yes, there were several games, shooter games in VR. There were several of them, and you liked it. You really enjoyed the whole shooting thing. And the research of new games and games in the PC, Overwatch, it was practically brand new at the moment. Mm-hmm. And it looked fun. It looked, the characters, and they had some type of power and this and that. I thought that it was something that you were gonna, get the game and be able to express yourself through the game. Depends of the different characters they have, and somehow identify yourself with this character and that character. And I thought it was a game was very well made, and somehow a game that you could sit down, play shooters for a longer period of time that you were not able to do so on VR. you were not able to experience the shooters in VR much. One, because there was not many people that had VR at the moment.
Yeah.
So when you do shooter games, it had to be just by yourself, and very rare. I don't know if you remember, there were 1 or 2 or 3 people to be able to play those shooters with you in VR. But nothing, like I said, nothing. It could have extended more than 30 minutes or 30 or 45 minutes in VR, because to you it was a no. So I'm like, okay, so let's see if I'm able to find a good game once again in PC that you will be able to test to see if you liked. And Overwatch, it was it. Yep. It was brand new at the moment. Like I said, it looked very well made, and I'm like, well, maybe she actually take this game and express herself, and identify herself with any of this character and take it from there and see what happened. So we exposed you to Overwatch, and it was a hit. You loved it.
She did.
It was let's say loved at first sight, and you loved it, and you wanted to stay to sit and play, and you didn't get tired. You wanted to continue keep playing. And I'm like, oh, she really liked this game, and I'm glad that she's able to play this type of shooter games with any restriction, as she had this restriction with a VR that she couldn't play more than 30 or 45 minutes. So yeah, it was awesome.
And along that time, she was also playing Dead by Daylight on PC, which
because you see, at the moment that all this happened, that we all say, okay, let's
taking a break from VR.
Yes, let's take a break from VR, but meanwhile, let's expose Fabu in PC gaming, right? And for PC gaming and everything, let me find what are the cool games, of PC gamings, and different things that I already knew that you liked. So at that moment, I knew because of VR that you like shooters. So that's why I went and find a good nice shooter game, which at that moment it was brand new, which was Overwatch. And I wanted a scary game. A good a scary game that it looked good, that the graphic was nice, and
was multiplayer?
It was multiplayer. And Dead by Daylight, it was brand new at the moment. Really sparkly, brand new. And somehow I had a feeling that you were going to like it. Because the twist of that game that I loved, it was that you could be a killer or you could be a survivor. And to me, that was great. And if you become a survivor, you have to actually co-play with others. And to me, that was a really well planned out, structured, scary game. Yeah. And it had that scary thing factor that I see that you liked.
That game was exactly like VR, where the killer is the monster and you're the survivor trying to save your friends.
So
it was like that.
I thought it was great. So we said, okay, so let's expose Fabu to this game, Dead by Daylight. Actually, today she still play Overwatch, and Dead by Daylight, one of her favorite games of all time, has been always
those 2 games.
Yeah, I'm an
those
OG.
2 games.
Those
OG. 2 games, since people always ask, because Fabu ended up playing a lot of console games later on. Fabu, have you ever played on PC? Have you played Overwatch in PC? Fabu started playing on PC. Fabu, actually, she started playing on, she went from her tablet to a VR and then to PC gaming. And then from there, she went to console. But she was playing Overwatch and all that and Dead by Daylight on PC when it came out.
Yeah, we went to console at last. First was tablet, second was VR, and then third was PC. PC, then we started playing games, and then we transitioned to console. So, yeah. Obviously, after I told you my little timeline, after we went to PC, we transitioned to Xbox. So what was the first game that I played in Xbox? And why was that game such a great therapeutic tool?
Well, the first game that you played on Xbox, you went through the whole library of Xbox, because we were like, okay, let's see what she wants to play. At this point, she had experience with several different genres. She had played several different games on all of the other different platforms, that we were like, let's see what she comes up with as to what she wants to pick to play. And she chose Resident Evil 7 to play.
Yeah. Well, a lot of things was happening at the same time at that moment. Not only, that we bought actually the Xbox. We bought the Oculus to do VR, and she was playing PC and gaming and all that. I believe that in order to have a bigger library and a bigger choice for Fabu, console was it. I played console games for a long time, and PlayStation and Xbox and brother and Fabu's brother and Fabu's sister too. So I'm like, it needs to be. I think that a bigger library for Fabu to choose what she would like next. I think an Xbox it should be, and let her pick. Once again, let her pick, because when it came to the PC, I suggested those games, and that was bingo. I got it right. But when it came to Xbox, I wanted for Fabu to choose what she would like to play, what she would like to continue going in that route. So, like FabuMom said, we let Fabu go to the whole library of games, and we say, okay, so the task there is to pick a game that you want to play, that game, and you're going to be involved with that game, and that's going to be your Xbox game. And then we take it from there. We didn't know where that we're going to go. And she looked, there was a bunch of games in that library. Imagine, going to a whole Xbox library, right?
She took her time.
She took her time. And Resident Evil 7, it was a new game. It was a new game that it came out. And I guess she saw the preview, and she's like, oh my God, this look very scary, spooky, crazy. And this is me. I love it. And she picked it. She picked it herself. And boy, she was really into the game.
Yes.
She didn't went wrong. I mean, she fell in love with that game. She was glued to that freaking
That was my game.
And that was the positive therapeutic outcome, that she was so into it that she expressed herself better than she had ever before.
She expressed herself in that game like she ever have expressed herself in any previous game. The thing that I always tell Fabu, even, from the very beginning, is you need to express yourself. What are you feeling? What are you doing? What are you planning to do? What are you seeing? Everything. You need to talk. You need to talk it out. You need to talk it out. It's always in top of her. You need to talk. You need to talk. You need to talk. But I guess it was easy for her with so many feelings, emotion, everything was rushing through her playing this scary game, that she didn't stop. She was, oh my God, I'm gonna go to this room, and then this guy is doing this. Oh my God, where's this? Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, I need to think. I have to go here. And she would just everything. Somehow, for the first time, she was able to connect all these things that in reality, it goes to Fabu's brains 100 miles per hour. That it goes in her brain. She was able to put it out through,
to express myself,
to voice it out, to be able to say it,
to put all those
with no
thoughts
filters,
together. Yeah.
with no filters. She was like, and I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. This is awesome. This is awesome. So much there was time that she would say things incorrectly, and we couldn't catch up in order to correct her. That was not well said, or this always has been issues with word here on there, or in grammar and things like that. That's not how you say it. You say it backwards and things like that. And we needed to be on top of her to correct it, but it was so fast that the majority of the time we didn't have the,
I was speeding McCallus, bro.
we didn't have the time to correct her at the moment, and then we didn't want to interrupt her too, because it was so intense. Because you see, every time that Fabu play anything or record or go live, I'm always next to Fabu. But I watch what Fabu's doing. Like, I really, truly watching what she's doing. Like, I really do get into Fabu's gameplay. I watch it. So I do get into everything that she's doing. And I do get into all the things that she's saying. It's like me watching my favorite streamer, let's say, right? And I'm hearing Fabu, everything she's saying. But the cool thing is, I could tell Fabu, that's not like that. It's like, watch out with this, watch out with that. So sometimes, even to today, when we're even streaming, like, she just did Resident Evil, the new one not too long ago. She just finished it.
Resident Evil Village.
And I was watching her live doing it, and then watch out with this. Oh my god, you forgot that. Oh my god, you always hear me in the background. From day one, I've been doing the same thing since even from the very beginning. It's like, oh my god, watch out with this. Oh my god, I cannot believe this. It just
Yeah, but it's like seriously. I was actually one time watching my previous episodes from Resident Evil, and I remember this time when there was a mission where we had to do unlock this lock, and Fadad's like, oh, you have to do this and then this. I was like, no, Fadad, we have to look, there's a clue where there's a clock, and we have to look at the clock and do that's the thing. And he's like, Fabu, it's like this. And I'm like, you know what, screw that, let me do what I think. And I actually got it right. I was like,
yeah, that's great. And there's moments like this Resident Evil that you just finished that actually you didn't know what to do with the music box. You went around and around. You didn't find the clue, and I tell you, the clue is right there. You just have to look at the pattern.
Yeah, I see.
And then I ended up looking at the pattern until Fabu, and then she fixed it. But
me and Fada are a good team. We're actually a really good team because
the thing
sometimes I correct him and he corrects me. A lot of times. So me and Fadad are a really great team regarding Resident Evil and scary
So
games.
I'm just trying to, help her in that case. Now, as a difference now than before, and that's the point that I'm saying what I'm saying, is that before I feel that I needed to help her more, that I needed to be on top of her more and tell her in advance, no, do this and do that. Somehow for her not to get frustrated, because she does get frustrated in games. Even to today. When she doesn't find, it's like, Fabu is only human too, and she's a kid. Let's not forget about that.
With ADHD.
So
who want
when some,
results,
she's not perfect, even though that in my eye, I would like to believe and see that she's perfect. But we all, are not perfect in the sense that, she really gets frustrated. And sometimes she doesn't have the patience to do things, and when she gets frustrated, she doesn't have the patience. She want to tap out, and that's it. She is, she trying to recognize her limits.
Just sometimes
before she gets too, too crazy about it and explode, right? So she recognized that this is it. This is already my limit. So from way before, I always trying to tell her in advance, in order for her not to reach her limit quick. But throughout the years that she has getting better and better and better, now I let her, like what I did this time, is spend 45 minutes going around the room trying to figure out what is the next thing to do. But I see that after 45 minutes that she's not getting it. That's when I get in and interject and say, hey, Fabu, I think that the issue is this. You have to go to the music box and see the patterns. Can you see the patterns? But at that moment, 45 minutes has already gone by, that she's like, I don't see the patterns. And I know if I would let her trying to figure out the pattern by herself, she was already about to tap out. So I get in and say, okay, look, this is the pattern. I did it. And say, okay, you see, you got it. You see? So, I
still don't get the pattern.
She still don't get the pattern, really, but it was there. But I believe that she didn't saw the pattern is because 45 minutes has gone, and she was already, frustrated. And when you get frustrated and things like that,
you're blinded.
You get blinded. And so I don't get into things like that to help her like I used to way before she needed it. Now I wait to the last moment to do so. Why? Well, so she could still, be able to try to figure out things by herself. That's part of everything.
It's actually really good for problem solving, because with ADHD, that's not our best feature. So what Fada did was actually pretty good. So I could actually learn and try to focus to do what the task is and look for clues. So
actually after that, and and I was able to help her with the clue of the music box and with the pattern, whatever, we resolved it. She played another 45 minutes of the game with no issue, but at that moment she was already ready to tap out, So
yeah,
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta say, I think that was literally the only time that really pissed me off in the game. I still don't get what the pattern is. It literally looks, the pattern, the whole thing looks exactly the same, to be honest.
It's okay. I'm pretty sure you would do all over again and
see it with fresh eyes.
For sure you will get it. Because normally you do. Actually, a game that she always figured out things and she does a better job, way a better job than me. It's Little Nightmares that she just finished right now. There has been things that I have breaking my head and she has breaking her head, but she's still not giving up and trying to do it. And then I'm trying to help her, but I'm the one who's ready to tap out. And then somehow we're like, hey, let's take a break, let's breathe, because I don't get it either. Not understanding. And somehow, I don't know, her breathing and just chilling and say, okay, hold on, I cannot figure it out, neither my dad, so I need to breathe. And she has not giving up, and she has found it. She has found solutions of the problem within Little Nightmares too, and things that she has found out. And I'm like, dude,
I wouldn't have gotten that.
I would not have thought of that at all. I would not have. And she did. Why? Because she was able to come down and relax and breathe. And was able to see an easy solution in her eyes without being frustrated.
So there was one time in the entire game that you and me were so stuck that it took so forever for me to actually figure it out. While we were freaking out, I was like, you know what? Let me just let's actually take a look at this. So I took a deep breath. I was like, okay, gotta press that button. We obviously have no object. So what about the object upstairs? There's a glass. We could break it. That's why there's a hook. So we actually, if you want to watch that video, we actually have it. We haven't. We posted it not too long ago on Little Nightmares, on a new one. But we were so stuck on that, and if you watch in the video, it looks so simple. Like it took.
Yeah, it looked like we didn't spend 45 minutes in that.
Yeah, it looks like I took 10 seconds to figure it out. So yeah, but
that's the beauty of editing.
That's the beauty of editing
and recording
and doing YouTube videos.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. Are you guys ready to answer some questions for the Fabu fam and the Fabu army?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, let's go. Let's bring it over.
Let's go. Let's bring the big guns. What is your preferred gaming platform? To be honest, love everything. Personally, I like VR way better. If there were better games in VR, I would play VR. But now with the Quest 2, I gotta admit, there are a lot of not great games. To be honest, the games are kind of boring and the scary games are not that great. So I wish I could be more active on the Quest 2. It's just the games are not great. So my preferred platform, meaning that I use the most, is Xbox. Definitely. I play shooters on Xbox. I play scary games on Xbox. Everything I do is on Xbox. We could play Village at PC, but I prefer Xbox. Xbox, I'm really familiar with it, familiar with the controls. With the PS5, I'm not. With Xbox, you gotta remember, Mixer, all we did was Xbox. So I know I'm familiar with the controls of Xbox, how to open chat, how to make a party, everything. I don't even know how to do that in freaking PS5. I don't even know how to open a party. I don't even know how to invite people. It's super hard for me in PS5. With Xbox, it's super flexible. It's way better than PS5 and VR. So
how about the Switch?
I was gonna say
the Switch. The Switch is just for me to be offline. A Switch. Lately, I've been playing Switch is for Pokemon Go, but in
Pokemon Go or Pokemon?
Just Pokemon.
Pokemon Shield. But to be honest,
and Animal Crossing, right? You were playing that game too.
Yeah, Animal Crossing too. I didn't want to name all the games. Animal Crossing, Smash Bros, and the most game that I've been playing recently is Pokemon Shield. But Switch is a good game. Is just not many people have the Switch. To be honest, that I know of who play my games. Like, I only have literally one friend in the Switch. Like, let's be honest. The Switch for me is not that great to socialize. It's just for me to disconnect and play by myself, really, and play offline, where I could actually be playing Pokemon Shield all the way in the park, which is awesome, to be honest. So I like the Switch, but everything I play on is an Xbox. In the Switch, you can't play really anything good. I don't really like that many games in the Switch, to be honest. I'm not a Switch person. I don't really like it. I do like Pokemon Shield. That game I really liked. I also liked Luigi Mansion. That one was also good. I don't know why I stopped. I just liked Pokemon Shield so much. I was like, eh. And Animal Crossing. But my answer is Xbox.
Yeah, for me, it's I started playing obviously when I was a kid. I started playing Nintendo.
Nintendo.
Oh, same.
Nintendo to me, it has a special
A bond.
place in my heart because I started playing more than anything. You know, I think the first console that I ever owned, it was not an Atari or any of that. It was actually a Nintendo.
Nintendo.
Mario Brothers, and especially a humongous fan of 007. Humongous fan of 007 and Nintendo.
What is that?
A game.
Such so boomerish.
No, it's 007 is like, I'm not gonna say like Hitman, but it was awesome. Obviously, it had nothing to do with current games or anything like that, but it was awesome. Back in the day, humongous, huge fan of 007. I played every 007 game and Nintendo. Now, that's me being a kid. Now, being a little bit of adult, which it was not much of adult, you know, I already had like, you know, at 19, I had my own apartment and all that, and my office and my apartment and everything. I start playing PC games. You know, I start playing PC games like Duke Nukem, Quake, Doom, all this thing, and Red Alert. And that's when, you know, AOL showed up and start playing online, you know, through AOL. You know, that's being boomed there. A boomer there.
What a boomer.
But yeah, that was, to me, I was awesome playing on PC like that. That was like freaking fantastic. But and then, you know, evolve and I started playing PlayStation. So from PC, I went to play PlayStation because, in my opinion, the PlayStation 2 and all that had a better graphics. The Xbox 360 and any of that. So, but it you know, it did not had a lot of people that play like Call of Duty at the moment that I was really into it. So I moved from PlayStation to the Xbox 360 and so on because of the community. It had a better social community that you will be able to play with others and party, etc., etc. Xbox structure was much better than PlayStation structure, so I moved to Xbox, and then it was awesome. It was awesome on Xbox, and then I was, you know, I play here and there, but the majority of my game was always on Xbox. That's when I play all my BioShocks, all my Dead Space. My favorite games of all time has been those Fallout games. All that I played it on Xbox. Into, you know, I paused, and then today, the console that I use to play, you know, the only two games that I play once in a while to chill is Destiny 2 and Fallout 76 is Xbox. You know, we have a PS5, which is cool and everything, but I guess, like Fabu said, we spent many years
on Xbox,
on Xbox for so long because Mixer, it was all about Xbox.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that you were a Mixer partner.
To play Xbox.
To play Xbox, not to play PlayStation or PC games. Which a lot of people, that's why they did. But imagine the majority of of the people, the viewers, and the community that you're trying to build, they're on Xbox because they're watching you through Xbox. What are they gonna do, on a PC and play with you? So for us, it was a no-brainer. If you're a Mixer,
You gotta be on the Xbox.
you play Xbox.
Like, Mixer is owned by Microsoft, which owns
Was.
Xbox.
Was
Sorry.
So yeah, that's why we embrace Xbox. Like, we never have embraced it before, but regardless, we were already playing there. So that's why, as even Fabu started with, and not only in the tablet, and then VR, and then PC, and then once in a while, Xbox. For Fabu, the transition was completely then to Xbox. That's why Fabu right now, it says that now she's playing on the PlayStation console, but she never had played she never played PlayStation 4. We never owned a PlayStation 4. We skipped that generation. I went from PlayStation 3 to Xbox, not the One X, right? What was the Xbox?
The Xbox S?
The Xbox S. Yes, when we went to the Xbox X and the One X and the whole thing. Right now we have the Xbox One X, the new one, the humongous
Series
refrigerator.
X? Oh yeah, the
Series
refrigerator.
X, and then the Series S, which is the one that I used, and we bought that one in particular because it's a smaller, lightweight, and we were planning to, if we go traveling to to any convention or anything, we could actually put that in Fabu's boot pack and take it with us, so she could play in the hotel or anything. So that's why we have those two Xbox. So, yeah.
But now we don't need it because now we have an awesome computer.
But I thought she was gonna say that because now we're not traveling.
That's
But yeah, Fabu's laptop, let me tell you, it's a gaming laptop, and
That's a badass laptop.
It's a bad like you could do anything in it.
and which is
really.
beautiful
You can do
because
anything.
you can play any Xbox game right there.
yeah, exactly. You could play any Xbox in
Yeah,
the
that's
PC.
exactly why it's awesome.
Yeah.
We
You
have
could do anything.
Stay Decay there, Dead by Daylight. We have everything in there. And we could also stream there, record there.
Yep.
That's one of the reasons why we also got it. So if we travel, like to, let's say, my grandma's house, we could actually stream.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And that's a wrap, everyone. Thank you, FabuMom and FabuDad, for your amazing episode.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You're
Yes.
welcome.
It was my pleasure.
I want to give a huge thanks to our sponsors of this podcast, Turtle Beach, Rocket, and Jiffy. You guys are awesome. I hope you enjoyed this episode and will join me in the next episode, which is episode 15, live streaming for the first time. And if you haven't seen any of the previous episodes, it's fine because you could check it out at FabuRocksPodcast.com. And like always, just be yourself because that is Falicious. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.